Hello everybody, my name is Samla, and while Valentine's may be over, what isn't over is the Bard's desire to not slay the dragons, but instead lay the dragons. And that's what we're going to be looking at. Chromatic Edition, starting with the red dragon, the Dommy Mommy or Daddy of the Chromatic Dragons, with, a bit of a yandere bent if you, cross them the wrong way. They're in this relationship if you're looking for something of a equal grounds kind of relationship. That's funny. That's adorable. No. You are their prized possession. The possession they will put on the highest shelf for all to see. Well, mainly them, because let's face it, unless other dragons are coming in there, it's just going to be you. And should anything happen to you, or you try and do anything, you're going to be facing the wrath of 1,000 suns. Little did you know you would be ending up in such a spicy relationship with a red dragon, but that is kind of the cost when you decide to go down that route. When people say don't play with fire, that also is true in dragon form, okay? Furthermore, not only are you their possession, their prized jewel, their be-all, end-all thing that they will guard with their life, at least you'll know they're loyal. Unless you try and leave them. To which we will quickly go and tell the tales of adventurers number 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. We're all burnt to a crisp somewhere in their lair. Needless to say, you are not leaving this relationship, and you are not going to be the top in this relationship. No. They are the top, and you exist to praise them, adore them, sing them with accolades, glow up their, ego a bit so that they feel good about themselves. And remember, don't ever try and think that you are going to escape this relationship. You've made your bed, now lay in it. Moving on to the blue dragon. Whoever said this is. Moving on to the blue dragon, the royal strategist, the matriarch of the dragons, the ones where the females hold all the power and the males are kind of like, doing what the matriarchs of the society want from them, and they're pretty cool with that, all in all. But you specifically have a purpose to serve, a end goal, a place on the map, something they can use you for. Think you can, go off and do your own little thing? No, that's funny. You have no freedom here. Don't even think about it. No. You exist to serve their purposes. Want to argue with them? You don't get to. Want to try and pull one over them? You don't get to. Want to try and do anything of your own? You don't get to, because they decide what you can and cannot do by, the rules of the land that they have now decided are yours to follow. With them, you will not be given affection freely. They are going to be testing you, forging you, making you a little bit smarter, faster, better, sometimes harder, but most importantly stronger, mostly for their purposes, because to them, that is love. And pride, they will never, ever let you win at anything, unless they allow it. Now, the good part about this relationship, due to their analytical mind and all of that, should you forge those connections, which will be probably politically based at some point, and even if it's not politically based, as stated before, it's going to be, shall we say, strategic, logical, devoid of what you would be expecting emotionally from them, but, 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 should anything happen to you, should somebody try and steal you, should somebody try and take you away from them, should somebody try and hurt you, should somebody do just like anything that they do not allow to you, nobody, and I mean nobody, threatens what belongs to them. And that includes you. So, at least be happy with that. Green Dragon, the famous gaslighters of the dragon kinds. You are going to be guessing what your relationship with a green dragon is going to be like. You didn't fall in love with them after all. You were manipulated into it. And you will never be sure whether or not they actually love you or if they're just playing games with you. They might love you, to be sure, but more importantly, you are going to be in an endless game of wits, intrigue, and all of that, and you, most importantly, are going to be emotionally compromised, confused, and somehow convinced that this was your idea all along. See, it wasn't so much of you seducing the dragon in this scenario, it was the dragon seducing you and making it seem like it was your idea all along. They will never raise their voice at you. They don't have to. They are like silk wrapped in venomous poison that you will never figure out or be able to call them out on, because why? They never did anything wrong. They would never do anything wrong for you, after all. They have done everything in their power to show you their love and devotion. You wouldn't want to hurt them now, would you? Until, they decide to be cold and distant, leaving you question as to whether or not you want to be in that relationship. And then, well, just when you're like, well, maybe I should leave this narcissistic dragon, boom, they come back and they flood you with love, flood you with devotion, flood you with all the warm fuzzies that you could ever feel. Because with this dragon, it's about mind games and a whole lot of them. And remember, when you do think of leaving them, you're going to be saying sorry to them for ever having that thought. After all, you love them, remember? You wouldn't want to see them heartbroken, right? Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. They're the love of your life. Right? Maybe? Well, up to you to decide. You're the one who chose this path. Black Dragon. The walking red flag. And do you perhaps have a death wish? Have you looked at your life and decided, yes, I would like to hate myself today? There is, in no world, unless you have a very powerful wizard or, a wild magic surge happens, but in no world, in no world does this end well for you. Because for them, it's all about sadism, like pure sadism, pure hatred, pure fear. They are going to enjoy watching you squirm. It's going to be like you're in a never-ending Saw game, but without the moral lesson, supposedly. Because I've never seen the Saw movies, but you're in a never-ending Saw game. They're thriving on watching your fear. Get too close to anyone? There might be a finger there, a hand there, a foot there, a head there. Try to flirt with anybody else? Well, you just might, wake up one day and see an offer you couldn't refuse with their head right beside you as you wake up. They're more possessive than a red dragon. And that's saying something. They get creative with their possessions, especially if they're your what would be considered as currently living possessions. They get creative with what they will do with you, hence the Saw movie reference. If you're looking for a happy, stable, romantic relationship, too bad. You chose chaos. You chose danger, and you chose a relationship that is constantly making you wonder whether you chose it for love or if you're too scared to run away. They're the only two options. I wish you luck. And finally, the white dragon, the primal one. And you've made a choice. You've certainly made a decision. Now, don't get me wrong. There are, like, who doesn't love something a bit primal every now and then? Especially when they've got awesome upbeat music going along with them, like the da-na, da-da-na, da-da-na, na-na, 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 na-na. Chrono Trigger reference, don't worry about it. But with this dragon, you've chosen the simplistic of the dragons, the animalistic ones. They show their love through more than what you might consider playful bites if you're not careful enough. They will perhaps lick you every now and then to get a sense of your taste because, you know, animalistic traits and all that. Should you happen with an especially intelligent white dragon, which is probably going to be more on the ancient side, you might get a little bit lucky, but you know, you're going to be treating somebody who's like more barbarian than a barbarian in a cold climate. See, these are the types of dragons, much like a caveman, who would come out with a club and bonk whoever they wanted to marry, as the joke goes. Actually, how would it? Nope, not going to go into it. Just know that they're going to claim you like an animal claiming a mate, like a wolf claiming a mate. You've made a choice. You've made a choice. If they like you, they bite you. If they love you, they bite you. If they don't like you, they'll especially bite you. And if they are enamored with you and are sad that you're about to leave, congratulations, you're now one of their frozen trophies. Frozen trophy number 1 to them, but still very much dead and very much a frozen trophy for them to always reminisce on that one time they loved, whatever your species is that you've decided to go with for this insane endeavor. But they are fiercely territorial, incredibly loyal, increasingly and unapologetically animalistic and primal. And they might give you, you know, much like a cat, dead animals as a proof of devotion. As for affection, work on that. Prove yourself worthy. Conversation, maybe you'll get more than one word out of them. Maybe. A long, fulfilling life together? That's up to you, really. It has nothing to do with keeping up. It's just, they can be a bit emotional, a bit excitable, a bit, well, let's just say this. You'll never be cold, lonely, or safe again. With that being said, that has been the Chromatic Dragons of this dating the dragons, or laying the dragons, if you will. Next up, we're going to be talking about the metallic dragons, about the moral high standards of the gold, and how the brass dragon never shuts up. But until then, maybe just a bit of advice here. Stay away from the dragons. Or don't. I'm not your mother.